Fact that the first change that takes place is in your mind. You have to change your mind before you change the way you live and the way you move. So when we said that the revolution will not be televised, we were saying that that the thing that's going to change people is something that no one will ever be able to capture on film.
So it's been almost 2 months completed of 2025. How has the year been for you? Has it been good? Has it been going well? I hope so. But granted, if you clicked on this video, it's probably not going that way. And trust me, I get it. We all have been there. But if you're here, I'm thankful that you're here, because it means that you want more out of your life. You want more out of your year. So let me try to help you. Every year around late December, we all get that itch or that urge to reinvent ourselves and do better than the year that we just went through. We all want to become better, do more, whether it be go to the gym more, make more money, whatever it may be. We all want to be better. It's something innate within us. And if you watch these type of videos, not only my content, but other type of content, especially in the suggested, you realize that you're part of the self-help community. And now the self-help community gets a lot of scrutiny, but there's always diamonds in the rough, you know? And just because one bad apple is present doesn't mean the whole tree is bad, you know? But getting back to my point. Around that time of the year, we find ourselves wanting to change and do more. But a lot of people don't follow through with their resolutions. A lot of people don't stick to it, whether it be in the first week, after a month. It just falls flat for whatever reason. There's a multitude of reasons, but they all fall flat. Even gets to the point where you find people not wanting to create resolutions because they almost feel it's a sort of form of bad luck to create them because of how many people don't follow through with them. They almost think that if you make a New Year's resolutions, it's bound to not happen because of all the other examples they saw in the past. And I hate that because, or I shouldn't say hate, I don't really like that because I love to see people strive for more. And the fact that people have been off-put to other people's shortcomings, it bothers me that people would put aside their aspirations because they don't feel like it's possible because they see other people fail. And that in itself is very backwards, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about and highlight why people don't get to where they want to be and achieve their goals for the new year. And I'm here to help you reclaim and get back your 2025 as we're only 2 months in. Okay? So there's 3 main points that I want to address. They're all intertwined, but they're all essential for you to learn so you can incorporate it into your day-to-day life. Okay? Okay. So the first point I want to highlight is that perfection is not real. If you create a goal for the new year, let's say you're gonna make the goal of, or let's say you have the goal of, I'm gonna go to the gym 4 times a week. So basically every other day, right? Let's say you do that for the first 2 weeks. If you do that for the first 2 weeks and then you miss 2 days in a row, a lot of people, if not most people, will feel like they failed their 2025 already or failed their New Year's resolutions already. Why? Because they weren't perfect. When in actuality, perfection is something that never existed to begin with. So the fact that they're even trying to use this criteria to justify whether they're completing their goals or not is futile. It doesn't make any sense. You have to understand that if you want to achieve your goal, you have to be realistic within it. The realistic aspect is simply the patience. Some things can come faster than others, of course, but there's a level of patience when it comes to your journey and when it comes to you going and achieving your goals. That patience comes with the patience of not only getting there, but the patience of you becoming that. To expect yourself to do an immediate 180 on your life and your habits is a method of failure. It's a method that is doomed from the start. You cannot expect perfection out of yourself. We as people are imperfect by nature. There's something in science called human error. For a reason, you have to document human error when you do any type of experiment for the sake of a human being off put in their calculations, whether it be through bias or a sense of incompetence. Okay? So please remember that. So now you need to give yourself the grace, and you need to have the patience within yourself to be like, okay, yes, I messed up, but guess what? I'm a person that's bound to mess up. Why? Because I'm a human being. Every human being messes up. Okay? So when you get on yourself like, oh, I missed this day, you are setting yourself up for a sense of disorder. Because what that also shows is that you get too high and you get too low. And we all know that that's the worst thing you can be. Or that's one of the worst things you can do is get too high or get too low. You want to stay in the middle. Because you staying in the middle is a sign that, one, you always are this way. Therefore, it's never a shock to yourself nor your mind. And two, by always being in the middle, you can never be swayed away from where you're going because your mind is that strong where you don't feel pulled either way. I hope that makes sense. So perfection is not real. Don't believe in it. If you messed up one day or 2 days or 3 days, it does not matter. Okay? And that leads into point 2. All days of work and progress count. If you think that 3 weeks of work can be negated completely by 3 days of being off, I don't know what to tell you. Now, granted, we all been this way before. My whole life, especially me going to school in public school, I would always get around Saturday, Sunday, say, okay, I'm going to do this throughout the week. I'm going to get on my top of my stuff, this and that. And mind you, I did really good in school. Like, I did really good, but it was still the whole idea like, oh, I have to be this certain type of way. I went through this cycle over and over my whole life, so I know where you were. I know where you're at, and I felt that before. But I'm here to tell you that that's not a way to live. If I worked out for 100 days and I miss 50, guess what? That 100 days still helped me. You may not see it within me because I had 50 days of being off, but I still worked more than I was off. You understand? Because that amount of days that you put in the work, yes, you might have got to a certain weight, right? But guess what? You built up a level of strength that you can't regress back from. You understand? You built up a level of endurance that you can't necessarily regress back from. All those days of work count. So, just like I said about the first point about perfection not being real, you can't get on yourself about, I messed up this or that. Listen, all days of progress count. Not everybody has every day of work, or I should say, not everybody works every day. That's what I meant to say. Not everybody works every day. If anything, especially if you're lifting weights, right? You need rest days because rest days are essential to muscle growth and recovery. So therefore, your rest day is actually a work day. You're always working. You get what I'm trying to say? You're always progressing forward. It's just when you think it has to be followed up with a form of action, you're putting yourself in a compromising position. Okay? So all days of work count. Everything you do counts. So even if you only did a couple days this year, I promise you those days counted, because now it adds up to the total amount of days you will be doing or you will have done by the time the year is over. Okay? And this also leads to point number 3. Because like I said, your rest days, your days that that you have a day off, quote unquote, you're still progressing even if an action is not followed with it. So point 3 is action alone doesn't change anything. Okay? People think if you want to be a certain way, you have to take action. You do, but not in the way that you necessarily think. You have to understand that for you to even pursue an action, to complete an action, there has to be a thought behind it. The thought in your brain allows your physical body to complete that action. So that thought that you have to do said action can only come from you having a certain mindset going into what your goal is or going into what your work field is. The change that you want to see has to be an internal change first before you can ever take the critical action in order to see those necessary results. I'm sorry that I stuttered. But what I'm trying to say is this. Let's say you wanted to go to the gym, and I'm using the gym very often because if you look at like studies, gym memberships, prices, all these type of stuff always go up around this time period in the beginning of the year, end of the last year, and then they plummet down later. So I know that that's one of the biggest goals that people always set for themselves. They're going to the gym, which is natural because isn't America mostly obese? Something like that. But let's say you go to the gym, like I said before, was to go there 4 times a week. Let me ask you this question then. Would it be easier to complete your goal if you liked the gym or you didn't like the gym? You would say it would be easier if you like the gym, right? Now, question, how do you like the gym? How do you become a person that likes the gym? Now, this is where it gets tricky because people would be like, oh, well, if you fall in love with the results or you make the gym fun, then you'll fall in love with the gym. And you may be correct, but here's another way I can say it, or here's another way I can put it. Imagine you enjoyed the process, and you enjoyed the process because you know where it leads to. You see, if you want to complete your goals, it's best to have certain beliefs that are in alignment. It's best to have certain beliefs that are in alignment. I'm sorry again. Okay, also, quick disclaimer. I am doing this live. I never do live videos because I don't like me stuttering over my words or messing them up. But here we go. Fuck it. This is my new method, okay? This is my New Year's resolution, okay? I'm going to be doing live content, okay? But back to what I was saying. If your goal was to go to the gym 4 times a week, it's best that you have beliefs that are in alignment with what your goal is. That way, your goal can get there, or you can get to your goal on the path of least resistance. If I like the gym, if I like dieting, if I like meal planning, all these things, losing weight or getting to a certain physique goal will be cake. But if I don't like those things, then it may not be as easy as somebody else. Now, this is where we get into the element of law of attraction, like attracts like. If you believe to be someone that doesn't like the gym or has trouble losing weight or a myriad of these misalignment beliefs, these misaligning beliefs, it's going to be hard for you to get where you want to go. Why? Because your own mind doesn't think it's possible for you to do so. And even if you think it's possible, you think you got to go through a million hurdles. You think you got to run marathons every day. You think you got to eat only 500 calories every day just to get to your goal. While this other person is doing none of that, doesn't feel like they're breaking any sweat, and they're getting to where they want to be in half the time that you're getting to. It's simply because they have a belief, or they have beliefs in themselves that align with where they want to go. You have to understand that we work from inside out. We don't work from outside in. Okay? There's the old saying, I'll see it when I believe it. No, believing is seeing. Okay? You believe something, therefore you saw it. It's as simple as that. Okay? And I've quoted this many times in my videos, whether it be in the Bible or other works of literature in the self-help space or the New Age thought space, and vice versa. You have to be in alignment with who you want to be right now before you can ever be that way. Because if you wanted to diet, would it be easy to diet if you thought, oh, I would love to eat and I always eat a lot of food? Or what if you had the belief, I get full off of small amounts of food? Who would have an easier time losing weight? Exactly. You get what I'm trying to say? You have to make yourself believe in a different version of you before you can get there. Because not only does it help you just get there to begin with, you become in alignment with where you want to go. Okay? Now, being in alignment and getting to where you go and attracting these type of things is for another conversation. If you're a part of my channel, if you see my videos, I'm pretty sure you're aware, so I don't have to necessarily explain it, but you get my point. Okay? Being in alignment helps so much because it's the root of everything. I know people that get to where they want to go and they relapse. The only reason that they relapsed is because they did so much action that they got there, but they never changed who they were internally. That's the only reason. So when you see somebody get there and they stay there, it's because they had the beliefs to keep them there. When you see somebody get there and lose it all, they never were really that internally. They either got there or they reverted back to an old set of beliefs that helped them realign with their old self. You see? I hope I'm making sense. But I think you understand what I mean. I think I'm being very clear. So, we're on the path of reclaiming our 2025. Even me, I wanted to upload more so far this year, but guess what? Even me doing live videos like this is a big step. And I will get better. I will not have so many kerfuffles, so many mishaps. And even so, when I do this, it's not as bad as to you guys, but it's worse to me because we're our own biggest critics, okay? But just to recap, if you want to reclaim your 2025, you have to remember that 1, perfection is not real. You will never be the full 180 switch. Give yourself grace and patience to do that. 2nd, all days of work count. If you miss 3 days in a row, who cares? That all those other days of work that you did, they matter and they count towards your progress. And 3, action alone won't change anything. Become a different person internally and help yourself align with where you want to be. Because when you align with what you want to be, you not only attract it, but you allow for the easiest path to get there to begin with. Okay? I hope this makes sense. I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.
I'd like to make you stay. I'd like to make you stay. I'd I like antidote.